Welcome to Super Flixx, the podcast covering superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy movies. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
And we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network, and you can check out our other show, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, every Thursday on the Martial Arts Center Network. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it is showtime. What's happening?
What's going on, Gene? Just getting ready, getting the kids ready for school. Wife's getting ready to go back. She had a couple of training to the day. We got all the school supplies, all the stuff. Just waiting on a couple of Amazon packages, and yeah, we'll be good to go.
Okay.
Uh, Aiden finished his second round of basketball this week, so there'll be I think he said a 1 week or 2 week break, and then
Okay.
they said the next class. So these classes have only been 4 weeks for the summer.
hmm
And I guess he said the next one will be 6 to 8. So I think that'll be good.
Is he going to play for his school?
He wants to. That's the plan. And honestly, I told my wife, I was like, he should try out no matter how he feels. Like, I think that would be good for him to try out.
hmm
Anything can happen. This is what motivated him. Like, he wanted to play with his friends. He's got a friend who's been on the team for a couple of years. So I said, yeah, go ahead, try out. If it works out, cool. If not, there's a couple of community teams where they play everybody, and he just needs more playing time.
hmm
Like he's grasping the idea of the game. He's picking up a lot from these classes, and he's getting better each and every time. And then I think just more playing. The more he plays, the more he understands the rules. The more he understands, setting up pick and roll, a jump shot over a layup, all that stuff. The better he's getting at it. So I told him to stick with it, and if it's something he still wants to do and everything, that'll be good. And if not, I guess we'll have to find something different. Because this kid, he's just always looking to find something to do. Like he's tried a lot of different things, so I think he really enjoys it.
What are you going to do if he asks to try something like wrestling or football?
He almost did do wrestling because he had a friend in that, and I wrestled, so I was like, "Yeah, man, I can teach you some wrestling. Let's go." Then it
Mm.
switched to basketball, so wrestling's fine. My wife already said no on the football unless it's flag, but even then, she was kind of like, "Eh."
I'm
So,
surprised. Is wrestling more challenging than football?
I mean, they both have their own challenges because in my high school, most of the football um, players wrestled in the off season to stay up for the season. So,
Okay.
my biggest thing, the only reason I really didn't play football is like I like the one on one better. I guess I get that from karate. Like
hmm
I like if I mess up and lose, that's on me.
hmm
But if you go out and give your best and give your all on a team, but then the team loses for you, it's like that would frustrate me. So I
hmm
get it. Like, and I've done team sparring and wrestling. We had team matches, but we also had individuals. So um, I enjoyed it. So we'll see. Like I said, right now, he, as far as basketball goes, he's enjoying it. He likes it. He's getting some good exercise. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Cool. And once
That's
again,
all.
I'm on this old computer, and hopefully it does not buffer too much. And you know what? We are recording independently, so hopefully when we put this thing together, hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully it's not too bad. So I apologize if I am messing up this evening on this episode.
It'll be all right.
Okay. What about you, man? How's everything been with you besides hanging with the family?
I've been working. That's starting to ramp up. We're starting to get close to our busy season and everything, and that's going pretty good. As far as everything else, I just made some doctor's appointments, trying to get everything right for that. Get my health better, eat better, lose some weight, all that fun stuff. So,
hmm How's the new podcast?
did we? I guess we're gonna record on Saturday for the first time, so I'll tell you after that happens.
Okay.
We got an outline for the first show. We got I've been putting some social media out. I got some followers on Instagram was where I got most of the people. I think I'm up to like 400 already.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I put out there that that I'm looking to drop a first episode just to see what people know, and then we'll see how many listen that first one and how that goes. So, if you're into fantasy football, look up the Flex Bros Fantasy Football Podcast.
There you go. All right. How
So
many co-hosts do you have?
3.
Okay.
I originally was going to 2, and then my one friend was talking to another buddy who actually worked for a fantasy football company for a while, but he did hockey,
Okay.
which was funny because he's like he's a writer and he was writing and giving information for fantasy hockey, which he
Hmm.
was like he didn't know nothing about hockey. So then every time I talked to him, like when he was doing that job, he was having all these hockey stats. And at the time, I was like, I used to be a big hockey player, but I never really tried fantasy. So I was like, what can you tell me about football? Because the site he worked for was actually a really good resource. It was a Roto World. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, he does. So he kind of was given some good ideas of like how to launch, that first episode and what we got to talk about to kind of keep everyone on the hook and everything like that. So it's actually a really good resource, and
Hmm.
I'm glad that we brought him in the fold. So,
All right.
and these
Cool. Cool.
two of the guys I've been playing with for over 20 years. And then the one guy, I only met him 5 years ago, so I think he joined me like 4 years ago. But he's been doing it just as long, just not with my group.
Okay.
So yeah, how you been?
I'm good, man. I've been back on the match training. Uh,
Yeah.
back in my jujitsu classes. I had a couple of months off of jujitsu, so I'm back in it now. Um, getting ready for. I should be getting my fourth stripe in a couple of months. Fourth stripe on my white belt. I
You
feel like
gonna try and compete in that at all?
I do want to. I wanted to this summer, but man, this summer's been real busy for me, man. It's a lot of traveling, a lot of in and out of the city, and it's been real busy, real busy. So I haven't been able to. I didn't get a chance to compete this summer. Maybe this winter sometime. Every time there's a jujitsu competition, Steve lets me know.
Okay.
So maybe I'll go to one of the events with those guys.
Does Steve compete?
Yeah, Steve competes. Hmm.
How's he do?
He does about 2 or 3 tournaments a year, something like that. Maybe more. If he does more, I'm not privy to it. But he tells me about 2 or 3 times a year. He does pretty good. I don't think he
Well,
won his last one, but the other ones
yeah.
he did.
The last time I rolled with him a couple times, like he threw so much information at me, and I was like, dang, I wish I
Oh, I
could
didn't know you
hang on
rolled.
a little bit more. Huh?
I didn't know you rolled with him.
Well, we didn't really roll. He was trying to show me, like
Okay.
yeah, he was showing me like 10 different ways to do a Kimura, which I
Yeah.
didn't even know. That was done. Like I was like, wait. So then he was showing me some position, and I didn't have enough time. I only had like 40 minutes when we were getting going. And he was
Hmm.
just throwing so much information at me, and I actually ended up getting home late because I was like, when I want to learn something and somebody's there like willing, I was like, I just want to do it all. I could have stayed there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and then the next time, he got me with the dummy and was showing me a few things, and then we were working it a
Hmm.
little bit, and then I had to go. But I was like, dang, I wanted to come back and do some more, and I just want to get in it, man. I want to do some competition. I want to just be in something. So
Well, I tell you what, man.
I'll go.
He's there every other Thursday night. He's at the school now working with the kids, and he's going to start an adult class also every other. I don't know if he's going to do the adults every Thursday or every other Thursday. And then he's there every other Friday. So the way we have him on the schedule now is if he's there on Thursday, then he's not there on Friday. So you could potentially, do it every single week. It's just going to either be a Thursday or a Friday. So if you want to come, I know like Steve likes to teach and he really enjoys it. So I don't think he would have a problem. Probably get a little crew together because I definitely I'm planning to stick around more and just improve my techniques.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, so I'm definitely gonna do that. Should
Let's see
probably
what
next
time
week.
see what kind of time I can grind out, man, because
You can
I'm
use that as
short
an
on time.
That's
I'm so cute on
exercise.
time right now.
That's exercise, though. You got to tell you
I
got to
know, I
listen.
know.
Wife just say,
Trust me,
I got to work out. You know, the doctor said I
she's
got to work out.
already she's already trying to set me up at the because Aiden's basketball is at the YMCA,
Mhm,
and we got a family plan over there, so the whole family wanted to start working out. My girls, they're like starting to think about wanting to get a little more fit, get a little more healthy. And so they're over there. They got a nice gym, man. I didn't like I was just doing the weights the first time, but they got a
mhm,
whole gym with all kinds of equipment and everything. But
mhm.
then I'm there to watch my son do basketball, and I feel bad if I walk away and go work out instead of watching him.
I got you.
Even though that gym is so hot, they have no air in that gym.
No, they don't. I've
So
been there.
it's better now. Like today was fine, but I've been going in there with water and a fan and everything because man, it was just stifling. But now
Mhm,
it's okay.
okay. Um, man, you know what? There was something that we did not discuss. Oh, Fist Kicks and Flicks. So we did Karate Kid Legends on Fist Kicks and Flicks. And a funny thing happened, just like in the movie Tapped Out that we did previously. The winner of this tournament gets $50,000, and they turn
Oh yeah,
around and give the money to someone else instead of keeping it for themselves.
yeah,
That's crazy. Once again, we saw Lee do that. And he gave
yep,
the money. That is absolutely crazy to me. That's not happening in real life. 50,000. That's a lot of money.
yeah, 100%.
And the way Lee's mom is in that movie, I don't. She's looking at college. There's no way in hell she's going to let that kid give up all that money.
No, wait, no way.
Maybe a
That,
couple
that
dollars.
that's almost that could be a full year at some schools in that area. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's I probably should have said spoiler, but you don't know what part of the movie I'm talking about, so I guess I'm all right.
that movie's been out long enough. People should know.
Yeah. But other than that, man, getting ready to get back on the road, head down to Indianapolis for work. And then I'll be back Sunday. Got to finish up school supply shopping like you. Knock that out for my son. I think we are all good with DJ. She's all set for school and ready to rock and roll for next week. So that's pretty much it, man. And getting ready for the holiday season, man. I say every year I gotta start my Christmas shopping. It's
Yeah,
August. I need to pick up. I've already been writing lists of what I got to get people. I've already been working on my list, man. So I'm
you're a
gonna
good.
start picking up stuff now, especially like my son. I know his main gift that he wants, and I'm not gonna say it just in case if he stumbles across this episode, but it's gonna be probably a popular item this holiday season, so I need to get it early before it's out of stock. So
Well, that's smart.
yeah, man, ain't nobody trying to go from store to store to store to store to store looking for this thing. So yeah.
No, not at all.
So Spider-Man 3, that's our show for this week. Spider-Man 3. Uh what you think?
I mean, I was excited for this to come out when it came out. The other two were so good,
Mm-hmm.
and then the potential of this one really was there, and then it felt short. It felt way short.
You know what? This is the first time I watched this movie in a while. It wasn't as bad as I remember, and I think it fell off halfway through the movie. It's when it dropped off. I didn't
Yeah,
mind. I didn't mind the corny dancing that Peter's doing. It's funny and it kind of fit.
yeah,
I
I agree.
it's when they started trying to force stuff. It was like after the fight between Harry and Peter. After that is when the movie changes. There
Hmm.
was, I mean, the whole thing with Uncle Ben's murder. You changed the Uncle Ben's murder. Why would you do that? That made no sense.
None.
Putting Venom in at the movie. Okay, I get that. What you should have done, number one, had a different actor to play Venom. Venom was Eddie Brock is a big guy. This guy
Yeah,
was almost the same size as Peter. He wasn't that much bigger than Peter. And then when he was Venom, he was small. He was almost like Carnage. He did not look like Venom at all.
no. And they just they best. Yeah, Topher Grace was a terrible pick. I don't know who made that idea. Like literally, he went from playing Eric on that '70s show who was like this kind of, laid back, pothead,
Mhm,
uh, nerdy, sarcastic kid.
mhm.
I mean, honestly, he would have been a better Peter Parker than than he would have been a Venom. Like it made no sense. And then uh yeah, I felt like they were throwing too much at us at once, and they just really should have picked one, maybe two villains and let it all go, but instead they just kind of whatever. Just
Yeah,
tried to throw the book at it.
they introduced Eddie Brock and Venom in this. You could do that, but you should have had them fight as a finale in the fourth film. They should have had a fourth one if you were going to
I
do
agree.
three like this. You should have stretched out Eddie and Venom's storyline because it seemed too rushed and it didn't make a lot of sense. You
Well,
know.
they wanted to get the black Spider-Man suit in, so they had to do the symbiote suit, but then
Mhm.
they also had to get in Venom, which is fine, but like you really they could have focused more on that. But
Yeah.
instead we had to on top of that, so we got Peter fighting with his demons, we got another villain in Sandman, then they throw in Hobgoblin, and then they throw in Venom, and it just all was too much. We only got the symbiote Spider-Man for like two scenes.
Hmm.
And it's like, and I feel like they dragged that out too far. Like the symbiote was with Peter for a couple of days, but it took Peter getting upset and angry before it finally like
Hmm.
latched onto it.
Hmm.
And then
I
they
think.
still introduced Doc Connors, who was in
Mhm.
the first couple, but they never brought in the lizard.
Yeah, that's what you should. You didn't even need Sandman, and to say that he had something to do with Uncle Ben's murder was stupid because that was the whole. Now you're making it seem like it was an accident that Uncle Ben got killed.
Yeah.
And that messes up the reason why Peter is Spider-Man and takes on all of this responsibility is because of Uncle Ben's death, and now you're changing Uncle Ben's death.
Not only that, but then on top of everything else, because they always have to, they throw in turmoil between him and MJ. When that whole
Hmm.
thing, like she gave up a wedding to be with Peter, and
Hmm.
then now we're gonna just throw the whole thing away because of all this, oh, boo hoo, you lost your singing job. Well, I mean, but that's the life of an actress, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter should. I'm getting ahead of myself, but he never should have kissed Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man.
Oh,
That
that was dumb.
wrong.
That was
He
dumb.
should have been. She should have dogged him for that. But I mean, it was simple.
Hmm.
To be all upset because Peter was just being himself and being Spider-Man. Like that's the same guy that you fell in love with. Now to be mad and then not tell him why you're mad because you
Well, that's a
lost your
woman
job.
thing. That's a woman thing.
God,
Women are going to do that to us. But
just
also, her problem was how he did it. He was upside down, and that I get that. That was she is thinking like that's our thing. You
yeah.
kiss me like that. How are you going to kiss someone else the way that you kiss me? You
Yeah, but
know.
you didn't even know it was Peter at the time. You were kissing Spider-Man and you had a boyfriend. So no offense, but he doing the same thing you was doing. Listen, man, you ask my wife, I can turn stuff around real quick. It usually gets me in trouble, but it's okay.
But once
So we
again,
start off,
like Venom,
yeah,
I think they should have ended with Peter ripping Venom's suit off in the bell tower. They could have did that part. He ripped
yeah.
the suit off
And you
and
know
then
what?
switched it.
Nowadays it's popular to do to split it into two movies so they can stretch it out. They would have done that nowadays.
Yeah,
100%.
that
It wouldn't have been Spider-Man 4. It would have been 3 and then, 3A, 3B. That's what it
yeah.
would have been.
And then you would have had the post credit scene would have been Eddie finding Venom and them coming together, and then that gets you excited for the next movie, and that's
Yeah,
how
I
they
think
should
that
have
would
did
have
it.
been great. I think that would have been perfect. And
Yeah,
then that's when you get the team up with Peter and Harry. That would have been fantastic.
yeah. Well, if you didn't kill him in this one, but once again, like
Yeah,
Sandman, I think him and Venom were my biggest problem in this movie.
because they felt like they pigeonholed him right into the movie. They just wedged him in for no reason
Mhm. Yeah. So,
because
but go
they were
ahead,
like,
man. Let's start
oh,
it
it's
off.
it's time to put these two in the movie, and you could have just there's
Oh, and
other villains they could have really did.
Lizard has to be number one because he's there for
Yeah,
the other two movies. It
that's
should have been him. It was actually no need of Sandman at all. You should have just went right to Lizard. Lizard and his issues with Harry, and then at the end, you lead into Venom. That's the way it should have been, and they kind of dropped the ball. But also, you've been calling Harry Hobgoblin. He wasn't Hobgoblin in this movie.
yeah.
If you read the credits, they actually just call him New Goblin.
That makes me even madder. I'm still calling him Hobgoblin because that's what he is.
Yeah,
Man, that's dumb. That
it
is
is. It's dumb.
new Goblin.
I mean,
Um,
they could have just said Green Goblin because Harry
yes,
Osborn
or Green
becomes
Goblin Junior or something. Not
in the
Junior.
comics. He just takes up his dad's mantle and becomes Green Goblin in the comic. He doesn't. It's no extra name or anything like that. He's just another Green Goblin.
Was this the same director as the first two? Like, what happened?
I thought so, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll look it up right
Was
quick.
he
But I
busy
think
doing something else? I just feel like how do you mess up so bad? So it
yeah.
starts off like most of the Spider-Man movie. Hey, you're friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We get some beginning credits, all this fun stuff. He talks about how he's living his best life. He's got his girl. He's doing good, balancing life and Spider-Man, and everything's going good. He watches MJ do her show. Of course, he's a big nerd about it. He's go, oh, that's my girlfriend. I'd be telling everyone too if I was him. He definitely punched above his weight on that one, so good for him.
Yeah,
And all
Sam
that.
Raimi did this one also.
Okay, so you know what? Third time was not a charm this time
Yeah,
around. They do show Peter, or not Peter. They do show Harry up in a fancy box or whatever, looking down all broodingly at Peter, and basically telling Peter at the end that until you bring Spider-Man to me, nothing's going to be right between us. Blah blah blah. So we already see that happening. We don't know at this time until later that Harry is taking the serum and kind of taking over where his dad left up, all that fun stuff.
but that was stupid to me because how does he know how any of that works?
I know. I said the same thing. And was that always in the house like that? It was. I mean, yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, I believe
Well,
it was, but Harry should have put two and two together and say, "Oh, my dad was the Green Goblin. He almost blew my ass up." So
yeah,
obviously,
right.
my dad was the bad guy. Like, come on now.
Well, and with that, and say because the butler
Yeah,
eventually clears Spider-Man of any wrongdoing. Where were you the last? Where were you the last time that when I was trying to kill Spider-Man?
yeah. Right.
Come on, man. Like it just makes no sense. There's so much just weird in this. And then
Yeah.
MJ worries because the applause at the end of her show wasn't that great, and Peter, tells her, "Oh, it's the acoustics of the building." Blah blah. Of course, he does his nerd stuff to make her feel better, which is, that's what your boyfriend is supposed to do, husband, whoever, the person you love. And she's kind of like she just brushes it off, like, "Yeah, you're probably right." And then they're talking, they're in their little spider web having their moment, and this all of a sudden, like, a meteor comes out of the sky, crashes, and then something crawls out of it, but nobody like pays attention to the fact that this meteor just crashed. Like, Spider-Man of all people, you think his spider sense would have went off or something, right?
You would think so.
But nobody says it, nobody notices or says anything, just big meteor falls out of the sky, and then
Mhm.
it gets into the basket on the back of Peter's Vespa or moped or whatever the stupid thing is. So I don't know, man. That's already. I'm like, okay, kind of taking me out of it already. But whatever. Then we see what's the Sandman's character's name? The actual guy.
Oh,
I
I'm
never.
surprised that I don't know that off the top of my head.
They're
It's
kind
Flint.
of Flint. Oh yeah, Flint. Uh, so he is on the run. I guess he broke out of prison. They're kind of doing like a news thing in the background about it, and then you see him breaking into a house, and apparently it's where his daughter lives. I'm assuming either his current wife or soon to be ex-wife or current ex-wife. Maybe it's a girlfriend. I don't know. Somebody, but she basically tells him to get out.
Flint
You know, he,
Marco.
he yeah. So he tells her, he's not a bad guy. He didn't really do anything wrong. It's all this big misunderstanding. His daughter is sick, so he's trying to figure out a way to help her. So you can kind of see that character building, and he's got to switch his clothes. I thought they did a good job casting Sandman. I mean, he
Oh yeah.
reminded me of the
Hmm.
original from the comic. So I thought that was good. But then, like I said, I just feel like he was wrong for this movie. He should have been
Hmm.
later on, but it is what it is. So he sees his daughter, and she, like I said, the the wife kicked him out, and then we see Peter and Aunt May talking. What is that feedback I'm getting all the time? Talking about how he wants to marry MJ, and Aunt May gives her ring to him. And at first, Peter's kind of like, "No, you need that." She's like, "Man, I'm an old lady. I'm not getting married again. Go ahead and use this ring." So she makes sure that Peter knows, like, once you get married, and that's what the decision you make. You gotta spend time with your wife, and you gotta take care of your wife. You can't just be, running around being crazy, blah blah blah. So of course, we already said in the last movie, we felt like she kind of knew he was Spider Man. So it's almost like she was saying, hopefully you can balance both
Hmm.
being a husband and being Spider Man, which he was struggling with in the last movie. He's kind of got it together in this movie, but yeah, the whole idea of everything getting married and all that is going to be a lot, especially trying to be Spider Man. And they do a good job of showing that because the first big hurdle he has with MJ before he even gets a chance to marry her, and it has to do with being Spider Man. So,
Hmm.
and then we see him leave, and right away Harry, as the Goblin, attacks him. He doesn't even get a chance to put on his suit. You just see Harry come out of nowhere. They have a big fight. They
Scoops him
do
up
this,
quick.
yeah, they do this dramatic. Peter keeps dropping the ring, trying to get it. Shoots spiderweb at it, whatever. I thought that was unnecessary, but okay, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, they have a big fight, and at first, Harry was kind of taking advantage, but then once Peter got his bearings about him, he started to take over to the point where he clotheslined Harry and gave him a pretty big bump on the head to the point where he lost his memory.
Now, if that happens, like when that happens, do you try and help him jog his memory?
No,
Because him and MJ definitely didn't. I wonder
well,
if
MJ wouldn't. Oh yeah, MJ would. I forgot. She knows now. Um,
but I wonder if MJ knows what happened between Harry and Peter. It
I
didn't
think
seem like she knew.
I don't know because he told her about almost about not necessarily being fully responsible for killing the guy that killed Uncle Ben originally, but why would he tell her that and not tell her about the dad? Sounds like
Mhm.
he shared pretty much everything.
Yeah,
But man,
it didn't seem like she knew what was going on between them.
oh yeah, you're right. You know what? Because she did ask like what happened between you two,
Hmm. Yeah, it
and
didn't
Peter
seem
said
like.
it's complicated. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So that is kind of messed up. But I'm
So
surprised. I'm surprised Harry didn't say anything to MJ.
no, I don't think he was more focused on getting back at Spider Man.
I mean, once he figured out who Peter was, he knew Peter and Spider Man were the same person. And so there had been some time in between the second movie and third movie because MJ had mentioned that Harry had been to her performance more than
Yeah,
had been there a couple times or whatever. Um, so and then he was there this time, so he know that there was some that he had been around. So I was just wondering how come he just didn't slip up and say anything or was looking for Peter or anything like that.
yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. The crazy thing is, so of course, Peter never wanted to be fighting Harry, but he also had to defend himself. I mean, Harry was going to basically kill him.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he hurts him bad, he gets him to the hospital, makes sure he's right. And honestly, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but the fact that Harry couldn't remember was good for their relationship because
Yeah.
he kind of remembered back when they were still friends.
Hmm.
So everything was kind of back to normal. But you knew eventually he was going to get his memory back, and then it was all going to fall apart again, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
This next part was weird because I don't remember from the comics how Sandman was created,
Oh,
but
I
what
don't either. But
they
this was
don't.
stupid.
Well, I don't understand what they were trying to achieve here.
I thought the same thing. Like, why
So
are you doing that?
you have this just random area in a thing of dirt. Somebody says that one of the sensors was triggered. They say, "Oh, it's a bird. Once we fire up the machine, it'll fly away." But like, how do you not notice there's a human being in there? I don't know. And then, like I said, I don't. They never really explained what the actual experiment was. It
Purpose
just
of the
was a
experiment. No.
yeah. But whatever it was, I don't know if it worked because it took the sand around Flint and turned him into the Sandman. So it's
Yeah, it was
like,
weird.
I mean, they showed the molecules of the sand and they showed it tearing up his body. And then eventually he has to learn how to remolecularize, I guess. I don't know, because he kind of demolecularized. I don't know
Yeah.
that actual term, but that's what I'm going with.
I think that's what it said when it kind of showed us the screen. I think it showed us a computer screen or something like that, a monitor.
Yeah,
And
because it almost seemed like a whole day went by before he learned how to rematerialize himself
mhm.
as a sand person, let alone to look human with clothes on,
Mhm.
not just walking around. But I mean, he figures it out pretty quickly because eventually he's turning into a big monster, throwing a big sand fist, taking bullets, going right through him. So I mean, he figured it out somehow and started using it to his advantage because I mean, he played this role like he didn't want to be a bad guy, but
Mhm.
he had a daughter to take care of. He had the police on his ass,
Mhm.
and then anytime he was trying to hurt people to get away with money, Spider Man's going to stop him. So now he's fighting Spider Man, and he even told Spider Man's like, "Dude, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to do go through all this. Like, man, I just want to help my kid."
Mhm.
The problem is, at one
He was
point,
robbing banks, right? He was robbing
yeah,
banks.
yeah. At one point, Peter slash Spider Man finds out who he is, and then now he's looking for him.
So the police came to him.
Yeah,
They went to him and Aunt May went to the police station, and the police said that Flint Marco was the person that was in connection, a suspect in connection with the murder of Uncle Ben. And Peter kind of flipped out because he was like, "No, I thought you guys knew who killed Uncle Ben." And
yeah.
he said they said, "No, no, it was this guy." And then I guess they explain why they thought it was him.
I don't think they did.
I know we saw what happened in the flashback, but I forgot who was he telling Peter that, or was he just reminiscing? Was Sandman reminiscing? I don't remember. I think
I
Sandman
think
was telling
Sandman
Peter.
was reminiscing about it.
Yeah.
And they might have explained what they think happened, but there's really no way to actually
Yeah,
tell.
yeah, because when the cops told him, it made it look like he was a bad guy, that he was the one that was trying to rob Uncle Ben for carjack him and steal his
Yeah.
car. And then, that set Peter off, and he went looking for him.
And yeah, and that's basically what at a little bit here, what's gonna the symbiote is needs anger and rage and depression to like they gravitate towards that. So that's what eventually allows the symbiote to take over
Hmm.
Spider-Man. So MJ comes by Peter's rundown apartment and he was looking, he puts the ring away and he was hoping that she was in a good mood, but she was worried. She got a bad review in the paper and he's trying to talk her off a ledge on that one. But also he kind of wants to propose. I've understood that feeling. When I proposed to my wife, I was supposed to do it at a restaurant with a
Hmm.
couple, like my brother and his date. It was on Valentine's Day, but like I completely that ring was burning a hole in my pocket, so I took it out right before dinner. Got some
Couldn't wait
rose
anymore.
petals. No, I couldn't. I really couldn't. Like I needed to get it done. That I had that ring for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and I had showed it already to most of the family. So I needed to I was ready to burst. So I wasn't gonna make it to dinner.
Said 2 weeks. I had mine for over a month
Yeah.
before I gave it to my wife.
I was literally sitting at work and I was like, just it was a few weeks before Valentine's Day, and I looked at the guys I was working with out of nowhere, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go buy a ring today. And they looked at me like I was nuts, and I literally did. I left work that day and bought the ring. And then when I
Hey,
came in with it, when I came to work with it, they were like, "Man, we did not think you were serious." I was like,
when you know,
"Yeah,
you
when I
know, man.
say something, yeah, when I say something, I know I'm gonna do it." So, uh, let's see this. So yeah, the timing was off. So Peter had trouble, going through with that. And then we see a scene where there's a girl. We know she's Gwen Stacy, but she's doing like a photo shoot, and there's an electrical issue. There's a machine. It's busting, the whole thing. And of course, like Spider-Man has to come through. I like these scenes with Spider-Man, doing some of this daring rescuing and stuff. I always thought that was cool. It's just I wish they could have worried less about that stuff, the CGI stuff, and more about a good storytelling. So he saves her, and then this is the first time we get to meet Eddie Brock,
Yeah.
and he's trying to move in on Peter's gig at the Daily Bugle for photography, which is gonna they're gonna bring out something later, and he's taking pictures of Spider Man, and literally it's so funny because sometimes I think Peter forgets that he's not Peter Parker, he's Spider Man, because he's like the Daily Bugle always already has a photographer. He's like, oh, that Peter Parker hack. It's like if I didn't know any better, I think like Spider Man has a thing for Peter Parker. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
But Eddie Brock also is taking pictures, and Gwen Stacy is up in the building. Her
oh, I know.
dad shows up. He's the police captain, and he tells him he's taking pictures. Like, who's that up there? He's like, oh, that's Gwen Stacy. Oh yeah, I'm dating your daughter. He just casually says it. It doesn't seem like he's panicking or worrying that his girlfriend is hanging from a building.
It wasn't even really his girlfriend. I think they went on one date. She said
Well,
later on.
somebody he knows, but still, he's not acting like he's concerned at all.
I know it was they. That's what I said. They gave him this nonchalant, real like suave attitude, but it really just came across as you're an idiot. But
Yeah, I didn't like his Eddie Brock.
uh, the scene where Jonah is having to be calmer and take his pills, and he's got this crazy button, to push when he needs to talk to his receptionist.
Mm.
For somebody who's supposed to be lowering their blood pressure, who's supposed to be calm, why would you have a machine that goes every
So
freaking time you got to push it?
yeah, I don't know.
And then that receptionist, like, I don't know if that was just supposed to be a gag or whatever, but man, could you imagine? I
No,
am not a stressful person, but that would drive me. I would have thrown that against the wall.
and I
But I
believe you
don't know
too.
how much. I don't know how much we spend on this piece of crap, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
So at this point, like we said, Eddie Brock is trying to sell pictures of Spider-Man. Peter comes in while Brock is in there, and he basically that says that the first person that can bring him a picture of Spider-Man doing something wrong gets a job, a full-time job,
Hmm.
which he's never offered before. So of course, now it's a race between Brock and Peter, and of course Peter tells Brock, he's like, "You're never gonna get that picture." Well, of course he says that. He's
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
exactly. Yeah,
He
he
knows you're
knows
never.
he's not doing anything bad.
Yeah. So we that's gonna spark something right away. Now we see this next thing we see Peter and Harry hanging out. They're best buds again now that his mind is not quite there. He's asking about his dad, all this stuff, and Peter's trying to, get away from conversation about his dad. He doesn't want to bring up any of that. He wants to keep things the way they are, which is, I get it.
Hmm.
You got your best friend back. You don't got to worry about the drama. You don't got some crazy goblin, new goblin, as they like to call it, after you. Like, that's good.
Hmm.
But then we see MJ. She gets ready to go to practice, and she walks in, and to her replacement. Now that is awful.
Yeah.
The director running it literally looks at it and is like, oh, someone was supposed to reach out to you. So to walk in and see a replacement like that is terrible. And on top of that, now she's got to go watch her boyfriend get an award like the key to the city after she just got, canned.
Hmm.
So of course she's not going to rain on his parade, but I feel like she should have told him eventually, and she never did. He had to
Hmm.
find out. He actually had to find out from Harry, which was crazy.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah, go
everything
ahead.
is going good for him. Like he's on top of the world. He's in a happy mood, and everything is not going for her. It's almost the reverse because things were going good for her in the
Yep.
second movie, and things weren't going the greatest for him in the second movie. So they kind of reversed it. And but she could have just said something.
Well, and this is where the drama, that they create comes in because she doesn't say anything to him. Then he goes and to crowd please. He tells Gwen Stacy to lay a kiss on him the same way. So of course now he's cutting her deeper during her bad day. But on top of that, she lets Harry know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, he asked about the play, but still, you're gonna tell your ex boyfriend and not your current boyfriend. That's where you're gonna cause more drama there than already was being caused. And frankly, he might not have been so eager to please the crowd, knowing that he might have to get back to MJ and console her.
Right, exactly.
You go out, you do your little PR bit. Aha, Spider Man, swing in. Thank you, Gwen Stacy. No problem. Take the key and move on with your life. But now, he just was, he was riding the wave.
Yeah, but in no situation am I ever going to tell another woman to kiss me,
No,
especially if I know my
uh,
wife is in audience. That was,
exactly.
yeah, he made a bonehead move right there. That was messed up.
100%. 100%. And he was really feeling himself this whole part of the movie because
Yeah,
he's like, he was on top of the building before he swung in. He was like looking around like, oh, they love me. Okay, buddy.
and at this
Uh,
point, he doesn't even have the symbiote on.
no.
Yeah, this is just all him, big head. This is all him.
Um, this is the first time that Spider-Man interacts with Sandman. We get Sandman. He just got done robbing a bank. The police are looking for him. Of course, there's a big truck full of sand right around the corner. Comics, gotta love it.
I've never seen that.
I know it's so funny, but isn't that crazy? So there's a big truck full of sand. So that helps Marco escape and everything. And then Peter, he is at a French restaurant. I like this scene. This scene's funny to me because Peter interacts with this host at this fancy restaurant, and the host is French, and he's talking to Peter about popping the question and what to
Oh
do and
yeah,
how to
yeah,
do it, all this stuff. So I thought that was kind of funny. But of course, MJ comes in a foul mood now. She's even more in a
yeah.
foul mood, and
She's
who could
pissed.
blame her? Yeah,
Yeah, she's
who could
pissed.
blame her? She lost her job. Her boyfriend's making out with a girl, and then to make matters worse, the girl comes in. Gwen Stacy shows up, and MJ has to find out that she's not only this person that he saved, but he's also has a college course with her.
Hmm.
So that yeah, he's not scoring any extra points
No, she's
there.
thinking they got something going on the side that she doesn't know about.
Yeah, and they got stuff in common because she's a science nerd like him.
Mhm.
So altogether, like it's just not going well for MJ and Peter. And honestly, he should have read the room because he still tried to go on with the night, but
Mhm.
and then he tried to stop the everything. So again, he doesn't get to propose. Everything's kind of going south, and he's trying to talk to MJ. She doesn't want to talk to him quite yet. I'm sure eventually she's gonna try to work it out and forgive him, but then everything goes bad. Now it's Peter's turn to take a turn for the worse because he finds out about Uncle Ben. He finds out about Flint. MJ does show up for that, but she only shows up, not to resolve their issues, but to make sure he doesn't do something stupid, which is right because one, he's already at home listening to the scanner, and two, he's pissed. He even tells kind of MJ like, don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna go out and do what I got to do.
Hmm.
So
He puts on the
yeah.
black suit also, right? At this point.
Oh well, she tells him just to relax and
Well,
hang out. Now this was weird because he took a nap with the Spider-Man suit on.
mhm.
Why? What if somebody walked in?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. But also now, Dr. Connors had been warning him because the Dr. Connors had been studying a little piece of the symbiote,
Yeah,
and he tells him like, "Don't get any of this on you. Don't touch it because it's really, really aggressive, and it looks like it can attach itself to a host." So he gave him a warning, and
yeah. And it was
now
crazy
listen.
because when he first realized, like when he first had the suit on and he was kind of testing it out, it seemed like he kind of liked that power
Mhm.
because it does bring out your aggression and everything. But in the didn't it enhance all his natural Spider-Man abilities?
It seemed like it.
Yeah, I think it
It
makes him
seemed like.
stronger. I think it
Mhm.
makes him stronger. Probably, maybe some better webbing. I'm not really sure.
Does it make him stronger, or is he not holding back now?
Yeah, that makes more sense. More
Mhm.
less of a moral compass.
Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, of course, it makes Venom stronger, but Eddie Brock didn't have any powers in the first place.
No,
He was just a big guy in the comic. He was a huge guy. He looked like I always thought at this time. I always thought Brock Lesnar should have been Eddie Brock because he looks like the comic book version. He was huge
100%.
like that. He looked huge
Yeah, he
like
was a
that.
big musclehead. Or the guy who
Yeah,
plays Reacher. That would be good.
cool.
The guy who plays Reacher on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I've
You know,
never seen that. I never
uh,
seen
uh,
that.
what's his name? Alan Richardson or something like that.
Okay. I
He's
didn't
pretty
mind.
good
I didn't
size.
mind. I didn't mind. What's his name? What's his name? What's the guy that plays him in the movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is it
Um,
Dan? It's not Dan Hardy.
no,
Um,
it's
that's the fighter, Dan Hardy.
is it Jeff Hardy?
That's the wrestler.
It's gonna drive me nuts now. So he thinks that he kills Flint as the Sandman,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not good because that's not like you said.
Tom
That's not
Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I knew it was.
Yeah, I know it was Hardy.
Yep.
Tom Hardy. But I didn't
So
mind him. Go ahead, man.
no, he did a good job. But see, his version of Venom is different from the
Yes.
villain Venom. He's more of
Yes.
a vigilante.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, which is interesting. So, Peter and that black suit Spider Man, they're the characteristics are changing. He's yelling at his landlord. Like I said, he thinks he killed Flint, which he's okay with. Which normally he wouldn't be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
He's really short with people. When he, MJ goes and hangs out with Harry. They have a moment. They kiss each other. She walks away. So now she's confused. She
He's
sits
playing
down.
games.
Yeah, she sits down. Uh, Tries to have a conversation with Peter, but the problem is, when she's having that conversation, Harry remembered and went to her and basically told her she has to break up with Peter.
Mm-hmm.
So now, it's feeding into his emotions, his rage, and that's what the symbiote feeds on that and only makes things worse.
Mm-hmm.
So when she breaks up with him, not knowing that it was Harry that had something to do with it, Harry makes sure to be there to pick up the pieces, but only to throw those pieces right back in his face because he's like, "Yeah, you weren't there for her. I was. Now she's back with me. Ha ha ha." So
Mm-hmm.
now here's where we start our rival with the two best friends. When we see Peter now is he's got this brooding look on him. All of a sudden his hair's like black, like he looks real emo. It was really weird, really crazy. Um,
Right.
it was just interesting.
Yeah.
And then we get our second fight with the two I mean, these two guys are basically brothers. So I mean, this is the fight, and Harry keeps talking about how Spider-Man slash Peter killed his father, and at this point, he's sick of hearing about it. He's angry. He's gonna let it all out, and he basically tells Harry, like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I'm done with that, man, and you can basically get out of town. And Harry goes to throw a bomb at him, and he grabs it, swings it right back at him, and it blows up right in Harry's face.
He did the same thing to the dad too.
Yep.
He did the same thing. What was the purpose of the landlord?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's always messing with Peter, asking for the rent or whatever, because Peter snaps at him
Yeah, I
and
think
he
it's
says,
a game. I mean, if
"Yeah,
you got a dude that owes you rent so much, and you're being a nice guy about it, I'm gonna remind them.
yeah," because
Uh,
because Peter snaps at him and he
uh,
tells his daughter like, he's a good boy. Something's wrong with him right now.
he was right.
But even the girl, like this weird looking girl, like they're trying to teach us that something's gonna happen between them. And I'm
Uh,
thinking like there's no way anything's gonna happen between
nah, I
these two.
think she just had a little schoolgirl crush.
Yeah,
Like
it
she
was
was
just weird.
always cute
It was
friends.
weird
I
to
know.
have them in this movie. They just seem like weird people to be in a movie.
Maybe that's like Stanley's family, and they just wanted a little fun.
Well, I'm sorry if they are related to
I
Stanley.
don't know.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of because they did. They just kind of threw them in the movie too.
Yeah, because
So
remember, like she's feeding Peter cookies,
I
when
know
he's really feeling this.
brownies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the other movie, she brings him cake, and she's just sitting there watching him eat the cake, and then he gives her the plate back, and she walks away. I was like, what was the point of this scene in the last movie? So I don't know. I was hoping nothing happened between these two, and I'm glad
No,
it didn't.
it was never going to happen. Um, Eddie Brock shows up with a picture of Spider-Man doing something, which I don't even. The picture to me, it looked like he was jumping into a sewer. Like what? I don't understand why that was so bad, but whatever. If that was the picture, Peter looks at it and right away realized it's a fake. So he proves that, and he does it in a way that's kind of real, makes him out to be a real jerk.
Yeah,
And him,
because Eddie ended up
yeah.
getting that promotion.
Well, and then they had to take it away. They had to write a retraction,
Mhm.
and then Peter got it. But Eddie kind of gets in Peter's face, and Peter gets ready to kick the crap out of him. And they kind of stop him. It was kind of funny, but he really could have hurt him bad. And now Eddie Brock's pissed because, like, the next scene, he sees Peter walking around with his so-called girlfriend.
Mhm.
So now he's building up his own anger towards Peter because he already didn't like Peter. Now he's
Mhm.
mad, and now he's super angry. So of course we know where that's going to go. Now Peter takes Gwen Stacy to MJ's new job. So she's working at like a jazz bar. She has to get up and sing every once in a while. And he does this whole
That boy,
routine where he hands the bartender like $50 and says, what do you say? Find me some shade. And he does this whole dance routine with Gwen, and it's all at the behest of his ex girlfriend. And so of
yeah,
course Gwen's like, that was all for her. Which didn't she think it was weird that Peter asked her out right after meeting MJ?
you
Like,
would
what did
think.
you think it was? I mean, it is what it is.
Mhm.
I mean, I thought they really wanted to show you how much this suit changed
Mhm.
Peter. Because really, like, he would have never done something like that.
No.
And he took over the whole club. Like, he made sure everybody knew he was there to basically tell MJ, bomb. Now, from his standpoint, he's got a lot going on. He's angry. He doesn't know what really happened. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, he cut her, she cut him, now he cuts her back. It's not right, but I get why he did it.
Everybody in that bar should have known that he was Spider-Man at that point. Like he's walking on tables and jumping around
Right?
and everything. His
Right?
cover should have been blown right then.
Now, this next part is first off, we see Marco he's not dead. He puts himself back together. He learns how to, the water did wash him away, but he, just like he did before, he learned how to put himself back together. So he's back. Now, not Flint, Eddie Brock goes to church. Who goes to a church and looks up at the Christ our Lord and says, basically he's wishing for the Lord to kill Peter Parker. I don't care what is so bad in your life. Okay, I got people that I don't like. I got
Mhm.
people that I don't want to deal with and that are anger me, but I would never look to the Lord and Jesus Christ to kill them.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, unless you murdered like a family member of mine, then maybe. But even then, like, that's messed up. Like,
Hmm.
who decided that? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was very very crazy.
But of course, at the same time, he's at the church. So is Spider-Man, and he's trying to get this symbiote off of him. So he's up on the top of the church where the bell is, and he realizes that the vibration from the bell causes the symbiote to
I don't think
to
he realized this.
he figured it out somehow because
He
he
figured it out at the end of the movie because remember when at the end of the movie he reminisced back to this point of the movie.
oh yeah, that's true. So well,
I think he
he
was
got
just
the
trying to use it.
symbiote off. He
Mhm.
got it off by using the bell's
Yeah,
vibration. And then once he ripped, because at this point, Eddie Brock's like, oh, Peter Parker, Spider Man, hell yeah, I'm about to make some money again.
that was
But then
stupid. Because how
I
would
know,
he
it's
like?
really
Why
dumb.
would he heard Peter screaming and making noise? Why? What person goes towards someone screaming like that? You normally
That,
go the other way. You go in the other direction.
that crazy idiot. So the symbiote falls off of Peter and goes right on to Eddie Brock. Now we got our Venom.
Yeah.
And the part to me that's kind of crazy is the fact that all of a sudden Venom just finds Flint Marco out of nowhere. Like, how do
Yes.
you just find, like, you have this Venom suit? You should be learning how to use your powers now. You've never had powers, but you just go and find the other bad guy. It made no sense. And then he gets MJ. This is basically where the whole movie falls apart.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
So now we see Venom real quick talking to Flint. He everything's on the TV. Uh, Peter realizes he's going to have a lot of trouble taking on Sandman and this new villain, which he has no idea who the villain is. Even
Hmm.
like he doesn't know what he's walking into, but he knows it's bad. So he turns to Harry for help. Excuse me. So Harry turns him down. Harry's like, get out of my face, screw you. This is where the butler finally tells Harry how his dad died and that it wasn't really Spider-Man's fault. And so maybe Harry will show up.
How did
Of
Butler
course,
know?
because he cleaned his dad's wounds, he said.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
He said he cleaned his wounds and he saw that the glider had killed him.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad. My bad. I was about to
But I
say I
mean,
thought he wasn't
you
there when they
still could have
were
said maybe Spider-Man used his webs to throw the glider into. I mean, you could have,
talking.
but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So Spider-Man shows up. He's basically getting whomped on. He's having trouble saving MJ. He meets Venom. That doesn't go well. The Venom in this was terrible.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
no. Not just Eddie, not just Topher Grace, just the Venom. It just didn't look right. I don't remember Venom. Was Venom able to pull back the symbiote and then talk? And then I thought he could just talk as Venom.
He could do both.
Okay, I guess. I mean, whatever. It was dumb. It just wasn't necessary. So Harry does show up, and they tag team the situation. They do help MJ, and then now they gotta take out these two bad guys. Uh, which Harry, like you said earlier, Harry dies during that situation, and then Peter to take out Venom. He tries to just release the Venom suit from Eddie and then blow it up, but Eddie jumps in to try and go get the suit while it's being blown up. So that was, I don't know if they were planning on doing a fourth movie. Do you think they were trying to bring Venom back? Would he have survived that? Like, I don't even know.
If they were going to do a fourth movie, they probably would have went with Carnage. They would have said that there was a piece of
Yeah,
this that has survived, and I
that
don't know.
makes
I'm glad they didn't because it after this movie and in the second half of this movie, I don't think the fourth movie would have went well.
no, I don't think. I think you're right. Now Peter doesn't really have to defeat Sandman because they kind of come to an agreement eventually after they're fighting each other.
Yeah, I accidentally killed your uncle. My bad. Let me
Yeah,
just fly away. What?
I
No.
know, I know, I know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So everyone's sad about Harry, of course. But it was good. At least they were friends at the end. And Spider-Man saves the day. They show Harry's funeral at the end, and MJ and Peter are, before Harry died, he told them to work out their stuff. He wanted them to be together. So adorable. And so you see them talking at the end, but we never really know what happened to them because they don't really say anything. And this was before post credits were really a thing, right? So there wasn't any post credits.
No.
And yeah, that was our Spider-Man 3. Maybe the first hour of the movie was watchable. The rest of it's kind of garbage.
Yeah, and I was hoping that we would get a little bit more information because we do see Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker again in another movie.
Yeah,
I was hoping we would get some more information about Peter and MJ, but we didn't get it. But I think he is going to be in future MCU projects that's coming up pretty soon. So hopefully, maybe we'll get some more information about his universe and his world and the things that happen after this movie.
I heard one point. I didn't know if there was any truth to it. I heard after that movie, because everyone was so happy to see him reprise that role,
Hmm.
that they were going to talk about doing a number four. Which I don't know how they would have done that.
They did talk about him having a number four. They also talked about the other guy, what's his name,
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, having a third movie because he never got a third movie. And I heard about them both having I think a movie together. But I don't think that's going to happen now because the MCU is about to get rebooted
Oh, yeah.
after the Secret Wars movie, after Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think it's going to be a whole new Marvel universe, and they're going to have all new characters, all new actors playing these characters. So I don't really think it's going to matter anymore.
Yeah, they like to do that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that leads us into our because we talked about this before. After these movies, we wanted to do the three X-Men movies because they kind of follow. Gene and I talked about it. They follow to me the same type of arc as this. First two
Mhm.
movies, great, perfect, spectacular. Third movie, awesome potential, should have been great, garbage.
You know what, man? I wonder what movie I like better, Spider-Man 3 or X-Men 3. It might be Spider-Man 3 because I don't think I liked X3 at all. And after rewatching this one, like I said, like you just said, man, the first half of the movie was fine. It was just it could have been better. They dropped the ball with the whole Sandman's art and the whole Venom thing. I think everything else was fine. It was just that those two things just did not sit right with me. If they did not have those, I think it could have been better. If
Yeah,
they could just, I don't know, man. But
I think they really needed to take their time, say, okay, we want to focus on the symbiote suit, and we want to focus on Harry versus Spider-Man,
mhm.
and that would have been fine. Maybe throw the lizard in there for good measure, but instead they were like, hey, we got to have Venom, we got to have the symbiote, we got to have Sandman because I mean, why not? And it
I
just
don't
kept
know how you
building
get
and
to
building and building.
I don't know why you get to Sandman if you already had Dr. Connor for the last two movies and he's in this movie. What were you thinking? It didn't make any sense. You did not have to touch the Uncle Ben story. You could have
No,
left that alone.
yes,
Dr. Connor was already friends with Dr. Octavius. And you could have just went into him trying to regrow his limb like it happened in the comic, and then him realizing that Peter was the one that killed, Octavius, and he could have been trying to get revenge. The lizard could have been trying to get revenge
it
because
would have
Dr.
been
Connor
a perfect transition.
perfect. That was it. And then you could have, if you wanted to do the Venom thing, you could have had the symbiote in it, and you could have him rip off the suit at the end, and then
Yeah.
it goes to a better Brock, and then you could
Let's
have had Spider-Man 4. Boom.
let's Snyder cut this shit. Let's go.
There you go. All right. Well, what grade are you giving this movie, man? What do you think?
Mm, this movie, that's hard because I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm gonna go with a B.
Oh wow, that's better than I thought you were going to do.
I was gonna say B minus, but
I'm
I
going. I'm going C minus. I'm going C
all right.
minus.
Then I'm gonna change mine to B minus. Fine.
Yeah, I'm going to C minus. So I'm
I was
giving it
trying
a
not
C
to kill it,
minus.
but go ahead.
Like it's just a couple things, man. And those it's messed up that those couple things messed up the whole movie. You know,
It
it
did.
could have been
Yeah.
it could have been so much better, but it is what it is.
I remember
All right.
waiting for this movie. I was so excited after watching the first two, and then I saw this in theaters, and I didn't like go, oh, I want my money back, but I was like,
Especially because you thought you know Venom's in it. Like Venom. Like he was a popular character. And
yeah,
this is the Venom we get.
that's what
This
they wrote.
crackhead
It.
Venom. Who
I
wants
know.
a crackhead Venom? Like that.
You know what though? When I remember when they said Topher Grace, I go, oh, I don't know how that's gonna be. And I was like, well, maybe he'll go to the gym and bulk up, and maybe they'll use that sarcastic. Oh no, they just did this terrible.
Yeah. All right. So next week we're doing X-Men. X-Men won the first X-Men movie, so that should be pretty fun. So
Yep.
all right. Any closing remarks?
Oh man, I'm good.
Hey, when is your other podcast coming out?
All right, so we're gonna record on Saturday, and
Mhm.
if I can get it all together and put it together on Sunday, I'll release it. So,
There you go. So make sure you guys look for Flex Bros, right? The Flex Bros.
the Flexx Bros Fantasy Football Podcast.
There you go. All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong, stay super, and we'll holler at you next week. And I will play our